got treat, dehydrated ducks, chicken. Listen, she eats better than us.
It's nice you have run with the
Of course it is. That's all we do, love.
I like the way she's telling
mate.
Morning. Nice.
Yeah.
Oops. The snook looks safe.
Okay, I don't even think I would be
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, this one looks better. But that one is not. This looks- Many holes.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
It's supposed to be fixed, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Maybe we'll be changing now. That is a nice place.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
No way.